Some partners don't break your heart through betrayal, they break it through games. The moment she stood in front of me with that cold expression and said we should split, something felt off. You know when a loved one speaks with words that don't match their eyes. There was hesitation, guilt, a tremor she tried to hide. And when I later learned her friends dared her to fake a breakup to see how much I cared, everything inside me shifted. Not because she tried to leave, but because she thought love needed testing. And when I gave her an answer she never expected, she didn't laugh, she didn't tease, she ran. But before I tell you what happened that day, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Some partners don't break your heart through betrayal, they break it through games. My wife stood in the doorway with her arms crossed, trying to look steady. Her eyes were the only thing that exposed her. They shook, they flickered, they avoided mine every time I tried to meet them. Something in her voice didn't align with the words she pushed out. "I think we should end this," she said. Her tone was stiff, rehearsed. Not natural. Not her. The world didn't collapse. My anger didn't flare. Instead, a strange calm settled in my chest. A calm that only comes when something makes too much sense too fast, because she didn't speak like someone falling out of love. She spoke like someone reading a script. I stepped forward. "Why?" She flinched. "It's better this way." "That's not an answer." She looked at the floor. "You won't understand." I studied her face. The red tint creeping up her neck, the way she kept pressing her lips together, the tiny twitch at the corner of her mouth that always appeared when she lied. "Who told you to say this?" I asked. Her breath caught, a tiny gasp almost too small to hear. "No one," she said quickly, too quickly. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't accuse, I didn't push. I stood still, letting the silence press down on her until she had nowhere left to hide. Finally, she whispered, "Please, don't make this harder." Harder for who? For her? Or for the audience she was performing for? I stepped back. "If you want to break up," I said, "say it because you mean it, not because someone else asked you to." Her eyes widened like I struck a nerve. "Why would you say that?" "Because you're shaking," I said, "and you only shake when you're scared, not when you're done with something." She swallowed hard. "I'm not scared." "Yes," I said softly, "you are." She looked away again, almost as if she expected someone to walk into the room and tell her what line to say next. For a moment, she seemed lost, like a child caught cheating on a test. Then her phone buzzed. Her eyes darted toward the screen. And there it was. Confirmation. I reached for the phone. She grabbed it first, too fast, too defensive. "Don't touch it," she snapped. I held up my hands. "Fine, but tell me the truth." She hesitated. Her chest rose and fell too quickly. Then she whispered, "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," I said. Her voice cracked. "My friends wanted to see how you'd react." And with those words, something inside me turned cold. "They dared you?" I asked. She nodded once, barely. "And you agreed?" She opened her mouth. No sound came out. I waited. Finally, she said, "It was supposed to be funny." A short, humorless laugh escaped me. "Funny?" She stepped forward, desperate now. "We didn't think you'd take it seriously." "You said we should break up," I answered. "What reaction were you expecting?" "I thought you'd fight for me," she whispered. Ah, there it was. The truth behind the stunt. Behind her shaking. Behind her eyes searching for a script. "You wanted to feel wanted," I said. "I wanted to feel important." Her voice broke. "And you needed a dare to get that?" She clenched her fists. I didn't think it through. I took a slow breath. "So what do you want from me now?" Her eyes filled fast. "I want you to tell me you love me. I want you to pull me close. I want you to say you don't want me to leave. I stepped back. She froze. No, I said. Her face broke open in shock. What? I'm not performing for your friends, I said. I'm not proving my love because you set up a test. It wasn't a test. It was, I said. A stupid one? A hurtful one? Her voice shook. I didn't mean. You meant to manipulate a reaction, I said, and you expected me to play along. Tears streamed down her cheeks now. You don't understand. I understand perfectly, I said, my voice calm, steady. You thought love needs proof you force out of someone. You thought pain equals devotion. You thought fear equals loyalty. She covered her mouth, choking on a sob. I looked at her, not angry, not spiteful, just painfully honest. If you want to stay, I said, you stay because you choose me, not because your friends need entertainment. Her shoulders shook. I choose you, she whispered. I choose you. Then act like it, I said. Respect me, respect us, respect what we built. She stepped toward me slowly, like she feared any sudden movement would push me away. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I made a mistake. I let them get in my head. I hurt you. Her voice broke on the last word. I let her stand in front of me, trembling, waiting for the verdict she created. Tell me something, I said quietly. When you walked in and said those words, did any part of you feel relieved? Her breath caught. For a second, she didn't answer. Then she whispered, yes. Something inside me tightened. But not because I wanted to leave you, she cried. Because I wanted to see if you'd still love me even if I pushed too far. I wanted to see if I mattered enough to fight for. And now? I asked. She wiped her cheeks. Now I see how wrong I was. I didn't respond immediately, and the silence made her crumble. Please say something, she begged. I took a slow breath. You need to understand, I said. Love isn't a dare. Love isn't a trick. Love isn't a trap to see how deep someone sinks for you. She nodded through tears, absorbing every word. I'm not running, I said, but I am hurt. And trust doesn't fix itself because you regret the game. She reached for my hand. This time I let her hold it. But I didn't hold back. You want to prove something? I asked. She looked up with tear-filled eyes. Yes? Then start by telling your friends exactly what you did. Her face drained of color. That's your dare, I said softly. Tell the truth. Choose honesty over approval. She stared at me, breath shaking, eyes huge with fear. Then she whispered, I will. And for the first time that night, she meant it. Some partners don't break your heart through betrayal. They break it through games. She stood there gripping my hand like it was her lifeline. Her tears slowed, but her breathing stayed uneven. The weight of what she agreed to do pressed down on both of us. I watched her eyes shift, trying to understand the consequences of her own actions. She thought the dare was harmless. She thought my reaction would be predictable. She thought her friends controlled the outcome. Now she realized the damage went deeper than she ever expected. You want me to tell them? She whispered. All of it? Yes, I said. Every detail. She wiped her cheek. They'll make fun of me. No, I replied. They'll see who you are and who you aren't. A tremor ran across her lips. I'm scared. You weren't scared when you walked in rehearsing a fake breakup. Her eyes filled again. I thought you'd pull me in. I thought you'd say you loved me. No, I said. You thought you could control how I reacted? You wanted a performance? Her shoulders dropped. She looked smaller, softer. Not the person who walked in confident that she held the emotional upper hand. She pulled away gently and walked toward the couch. Her legs shook as she sat down. Her voice broke again. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. When I said we should end thing, why didn't you try to stop me? Because love isn't a cage, I said. If you want out, I'm not blocking the door. She pressed a hand over her mouth, holding back another sob. I didn't want out. But you wanted to fake leaving, I said. That's worse. She stared at the floor like she feared her reflection in it. Then her phone buzzed. She tensed. I didn't move. She slowly picked it up and stared at the screen. Her friends group. Chat was open. Notifications stacking one after another. One message, did you do it yet? Another, what did he say? Did he freak out? And another, bet he begged you to stay. Her face crumpled. She held the phone out to me with shaking hands. I let them influence me. I let them turn us into a joke. No, I said, you turned us into a joke. They only encouraged it. She flinched like the truth physically struck her. Another message buzzed. Send us a recording. We want to hear his reaction. Her breath caught in her throat. Recording? I felt something tighten inside me. You recorded me? I asked quietly. She froze. I didn't. I swear. I didn't hit record. Did they ask you to? She nodded slowly. They thought it'd be proof you were desperate. I stepped back, letting that sink in. She cried harder. I didn't record anything, I promise. I wanted to stop. I wanted to admit the dare was stupid, but I was already in too deep, and I was scared to look weak in front of them. So instead, I said, you made me look weak instead. She shook her head fast. No, I didn't want to humiliate you. I didn't think. That's the problem, I cut in. You didn't think. You let people who don't care about me push you into testing someone who does. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I'm so sorry. I didn't respond. Silence settled between us. Heavy, thick, unavoidable. Then she stood, wiped her eyes, and looked at me with a new kind of resolve. Not confidence, not defiance, responsibility. I'll tell them now, she said. I'll tell them exactly what I did. Do it, I said. She stared at the phone like it weighed 100 pounds. Her thumb hovered above the microphone icon. She took one shaky breath, then pressed it. Her voice trembled through the recording. Guys, I didn't go through with the dare like you wanted. I told him we should break up, and I hurt him. It wasn't funny. It wasn't harmless. It was cruel, and I regret it. She released the button, hit send, and exhaled like she had been underwater. Her friends responded instantly. What happened? Why are you being dramatic? Stop guilt-tripping us? She looked up at me with pain in her eyes. They don't understand. They're not supposed to, I said. You're supposed to. She nodded. I do. Now I do. Another message came in. OMG, did he freak out? Did he yell? She stared at me, waiting. I took the phone from her hand and typed 2 words. He didn't. A flood of replies poured in. What? No way. He didn't even care? That's worse. I gave her the phone back. She didn't answer them. She didn't need to. She looked at me with swollen eyes. Everything's falling apart. No, I said calmly. Everything's finally clear. She wiped her face. I want to fix this, but I don't know how. You start by being honest, I said, with yourself, with me, with the people who influence you. She nodded slowly. Can we still work on us? She asked, voice trembling. That depends, I said. Not on whether you regret tonight, but on whether you learn from it. Her voice cracked. I'll learn. We'll see, I said softly. This isn't healed yet. She stepped closer. But you're not leaving? I'm here, I said. For now. Her lips trembled. I'll earn the rest. For the first time since she walked in with that scripted breakup, she wasn't acting. She wasn't performing. She wasn't testing. She was finally real. Some partners don't break your heart through betrayal. They break it through games. She stood in front of me, breathing hard, her cheeks streaked from crying. The phone lay on the couch between us, flooding with messages from the same friends who pushed her into this mess. The same friends who treated our relationship like a bet. The same friends who expected her to come back bragging about breaking me. Now their responses shifted. Anger, confusion, mockery. Not toward her, but toward me. Why didn't he panic? Why didn't he chase you? Did he want the breakup? Girl, that's a red flag. She covered her mouth as she read each one. They think you don't love me. I stayed quiet. She lifted her eyes. Do you? Love doesn't disappear in a single night, I said. But trust does. She crumbled into the couch, hugging her knees. I hate what I did. I hate them. I hate how I listened. No, I said. You don't hate them. You crave approval. You wanted to belong. She didn't argue. That silence was the first honest answer she gave all night. So what now? She whispered. Now, I said, you decide who you are, not who they want you to be. Her voice cracked. I want to be someone you respect again. Then show me. She wiped her tears, shaking. She stared at the group chat for a long moment. Her thumb hovered above the keyboard. She read their messages again, each one making her expression tighten with shame. Without waiting for me to guide her, she typed, What I did was wrong. Testing someone who loves me wasn't funny. It was cruel, and I won't be part of this anymore. She hit send. Instantly. You're being dramatic. He's brainwashing you. We were kidding. You always ruin the vibe. Her hands shook as she read the replies. Then one final message came through. You know what? If he took it that seriously, maybe you two aren't meant to last? She froze. I watched her face shift through hurt, doubt, clarity, then something sharper, resolve. She blocked the entire group chat. Her chest rose in a deep, shaky breath. They were toxic, she said softly. I didn't see it until tonight. They wanted drama, not friendship. I nodded. People who ask you to hurt someone don't care about you either. She stood slowly and came closer. I never wanted to hurt you, I swear. I've never seen you so calm. It scared me. That calm, I said, came from acceptance. When someone tells you they're leaving, even as a game, you face the truth behind the words. She swallowed. And what truth did you see? That part of you wondered what would happen, I said. Part of you wanted to see if I'd collapse. She didn't deny it. Her silence confirmed everything. Then she whispered, But you didn't collapse. You didn't even bend. I don't break for games, I said. She hesitated, then sat beside me, not touching, not assuming she had the right to. She waited. Do you want to leave? She whispered. No, I said, but tonight changed things. Her face tightened. I'll earn trust back. I'll prove myself. You don't need to prove yourself to me, I said. You need to grow for you, so you never let anyone push you into hurting someone again. A tear slipped down her cheek. I want to grow with you. I looked at her for a long moment. Then let's talk about something important. She straightened. Anything. If you had gone through with the dare, if you had kept pretending, if you kept playing until I broke, would you have stopped? Her breath hitched. She opened her mouth, closed it, then whispered, I don't know. I nodded once. Truth mattered more than comfort. She grabbed my hand then, not forceful, not needy, gentle, careful, like she finally understood how fragile trust becomes when tested. I won't be that person again, she said. I held her gaze. Good, because that person had no place in our marriage. She leaned her forehead against my hand. I'm grateful you stayed. I stayed, I said, but this is the last time anything like this happens. Her voice trembled. It won't. I swear on everything I am. I studied her face. No script this time. No performance. No dare pushing her into acting. Only raw sincerity. Slowly I pulled her into my arms. She broke again, but this time in relief, not fear. Her fingers clutched the back of my shirt. Her body shook with every breath. I love you, she whispered into my chest. I love you more than I let myself believe. And I won't test you again. I rested my chin on her head. Good. Because love doesn't need tests. It needs honesty. She nodded against me, breathing me in like she feared losing the air. And for the first time that night, peace did not feel far away. Not because the pain vanished, but because clarity arrived. And clarity, unforced, untested, unmanipulated, was enough to start healing. Thank you for reading this story. A new emotional journey arrives soon.